Ms. Lim at page 62, you will see at 62 and over the page at 63, she spent some time giving us an account of the notes that she had taken on the 8th of November as well as on the 29th of November.
Yes.
And so you can see on the transcripts, her evidence was quite extensive. And at page 64, she then said this, and I would like to read it to you from just before the middle of the page. And last of all, do you see that?
Yes, the fourth paragraph from the top.
That's right. And last of all, from these notes, I'd like to highlight on the last page, page 6, that, and this concerns the 3rd October meeting, which I wasn't present at, between Mr. Singh and her. And the question was put to her by Mr. Singh as follows. It says, before the October session, I met you and told you that it was your call. Did the need to tell the truth in Parliament occur to you? And her response was yes, but I was consumed with guilt in my own experience, and I thought that it wouldn't come up. That's her response. She was consumed with guilt at her own experience, and she thought it wouldn't come up. And Mr. Singh says to her, you can't lie, right? And then she says yes. As for the 3rd October meeting, I was not there, but that was her response to the disciplinary panel when asked why she didn't tell the truth before the October sitting. She said she was consumed with guilt in her own experience. That was what she narrated. Chairman then asked, if I may ask you a quick question since you raised this. He goes on to say, in that last page, you mentioned about the conversation on 3rd October. At the top of the page where Mr. Pritam Singh said, before the October session, I met you and told you it was your call. So, meaning that it was really up to her to decide what to do. Ms. Lim says, I don't know the context, but he phrased it that way. Chairman then says, from this, it would seem that it's really for her to decide, which is, I guess, and Ms. Lim then said, she has to decide, yes. Chairman says, I guess if you follow from this, when he said that I will not judge you, is that you decide what you want to do, I will not judge you for that. Would that be a fair interpretation as you see it? I know you were not there. Answer, I wasn't there. It goes on over the page, but let me just stop for a moment and ask you for your response to Ms. Lim's evidence, where she says that this account took place, and the way it's phrased, she doesn't know the context because she wasn't present at the 3rd October meeting, but she says that it is for Ms. Khan to decide. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think when one informs an MP that he or she has to take ownership and responsibility, indeed, that MP has to take ownership and responsibility. And I can see why the word your call gives the suggestion that it's a choice for her to make.
Yes, indeed.
And I think that's a reasonable look at it. But in the context of how I had put it to Ms. Khan at the DP,
okay,
and in particular the question that I followed up with, I mean, you really can't tell a lie, can you? I think the entire context of the discussion on the 3rd of October really comes back to Ms. Khan having to take ownership and responsibility for this issue, which I believe I communicated to her quite clearly.
I understand. So you would agree, and I think you said that earlier, at least on its own, the phrase your call, one reasonable interpretation of that would be that it is for Ms. Khan to make a decision.
If you discount the context of this word being used in a DP and the subsequent question put to her, I can understand.